There we go. Now the red dot is here.
Okay. Announcement is made that adequate notice of this meeting has been given and that it is being conducted in accordance with NJSA 10:4-6 and Sec of the New Jersey Open Public Meetings. Roll call, please.
Mr. Berkowitz.
Here.
Mr. Jaskowitz.
Here.
Mr. Petty.
Yes.
Mr. Quinn.
Here.
Mr. Reddy.
Present.
Chairwoman Grignani.
Here.
Our board planner, Mr. Chadwick.
Present.
Our board engineer, Mr. Lemanowitz.
Here.
And our board attorney, Mr. Johnson.
Here.
Would you please join us and stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Chadwick, can you raise your right hand, please? You swear or affirm that any testimony that you give tonight shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Mr. Lemanowitz, can you swear or affirm that any testimony that you give tonight shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes, I do.
Is there anyone in the public who would like to speak about anything not on tonight's agenda? See none. Application 2452, Mr. Kasawala, 275 Beechwood Road, Block 203, Lot 102, Zone R3, for a C variance to construct a new two-story single-family dwelling with attached garage, covered porch, and open deck with stairs, contrary to Section 430-35, Column 3, and Section 430-275H.
Second justice.
Who was the,
You
So
asked
moved.
for a motion, right?
Motion, please.
Oh, so moved.
Jaskowitz.
Yes.
Petty.
Yes.
Quinn.
Yes.
Reddy.
Yes.
Willand.
Not here.
Oh, Grignani.
Yes.
And then we have 2460 Kologic, 200 Webro Road.
Yes. Application 24:16, Kologic, 200 Webro Road, Block 737, Lot 2, Zone dash SED-5A, minor site plan with a D variance for fuel storage capacity, paving, and striping. Motion, please.
So moved. Second.
Jaskowitz.
Yes.
Petty.
Yes.
Quinn.
Yes.
Reddy.
Yes.
Grignani.
Yes. Yes. Application 24:22, Boxer property. 90 East Halsey Road, Block 737, Lot 9, Zone SED-5A, a C/D variance for medical offices and parking.
Good evening, everyone. Joseph O'Neill here on behalf of the applicant Boxer Properties. So this is an application to allow existing office building, medical offices, third floor, it's the third floor, statement of application, so it's the whole building. The two aggressive is your statement of application, just the third floor. And to describe that, I have a representative, Boxer.
Can you raise your right hand, please? Is there a problem with the microphone?
No, we can't hear you that well.
Yeah, you gotta pull the microphones closer.
Thank you.
Yeah, when you
Yeah.
No, is,
No,
tap on it.
nope.
No, the map, on this
Yeah.
part of it.
So once again, Joseph O'Neill here on behalf of the applicant Boxer Properties. This is an application to allow for medical uses on the third floor of the building only in the existing office spaces. I have with me a representative of Boxer Properties. I'd like to have her sworn in so we can begin.
Could you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. State your name, spell your last name, please.
Allison Hennessy, Hennessy.
Ms. Hennessy, what's the office address you use?
90 East Halsey Road.
So your offices are in the subject matter building.
Correct.
What's your position with Boxer Properties?
I'm the property manager and leasing representative.
So you're fully familiar with what we're talking about this
I
evening?
am, yes.
So I understand that you have some tenants looking to use medical uses in the existing offices on the 3rd floor.
Correct.
These offices are part of, what type of offices that you use?
So our branded name is Work Style. They are small individual private offices. They're usually a couple hundred square feet. They're really meant for 1, maybe 2 office desks.
So this is for people who basically work from home or some other location.
Correct.
These are just offices for them to use when they need the office presence.
Correct.
So how often are they there, would you say?
There's a number of counselors in the building. They're there, I would say, 3 to 5 days a week.
Excuse me, could you please bring the mic closer to you?
Sure.
Thank you.
Is that better?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
It's better.
So the counselors are there 3 to 5 days? And
Correct.
what type of counseling do they do?
So I know a lot of them do talk therapy counseling. We have a couple of nutritionists in the building as well.
And the zoning office is classifying these talk therapists, these nutritionists, as medical uses,
Correct.
requiring medical offices in the building. Right now, they have to see if they're seeing anybody, they have to see them off premises, right? Because it's not permitted.
It's not permitted at the current moment, correct?
So this would allow for them to see them in their offices?
Correct.
How many patients do you think this is going to be?
Usually they see 1 patient at a time. I want to say we've got maybe 6 in the building, so maybe 6 per day or per hour,
Now, in the parking lot, we're asking for a parking variance. And what's the condition of the parking lot right now? Is it generally full during the day?
No, it's, I would say maybe half full. Monday through Friday, it's really, we've got a plethora of parking.
Can you speak a little louder? I'm having some trouble
I'm sorry,
hearing.
we have a plethora of parking. There's never any overcrowding issue. Nobody's ever at a loss for parking.
You've got 357 spaces on site, right?
Correct.
And under the ordinance, of course, we're required to have 382 spaces,
That's my understanding, right?
so 25 short. Do you have about how many, what's the percentage of occupancy of those parking spaces, would you say?
I would say less than 50% are occupied during the day.
So back to the offices, what are the hours that these people will be utilizing?
A lot of the counselors will see people off hours, so usually at night and on Saturdays. During the day, I think it's a little bit more minimal. Most people are seen, like I said, after hours.
How late is your office building open?
It's open till 6 o'clock. Yeah, we do have 24/7 access, but the typical building hours are 7 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock at night.
Do you anticipate some of these patients will be after 6 o'clock in the building?
Some, not many, but some.
Thank you. I have no further questions for Ms. Hennessy.
Are there any questions from the board?
How did you derive at the number of parking spaces in this site?
Ms. Hennessy.
Well, we counted the number of parking spaces that we
You
have
counted them?
on site, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
because it wasn't on your site plan. I'm not
We
gonna
asked Ms. Hennessy to count the spaces.
count. Okay.
What other uses are currently in the building?
Building-wide, we have a couple of law firms, a couple of construction companies, an architect. It really runs the gamut.
So somewhat similar to the use that's being proposed in
Um,
terms of how many people visit and things
Yeah.
of that nature?
yes.
Any other questions from the board?
Madam Chair, if I might.
Please.
Mr. O'Neill, what was the existing parking total you quoted?
I believe it was 357. Did I get that wrong? Hold on one second.
Okay, I had counted 342. Mr. McDonough counted 382. And
No.
when I confirmed with Mr. McDonough, he said he sent somebody out and he got the 342 that I got.
Yeah, the
Oh, 342, I'm sorry.
382, I think it's.
382 is what's required,
Okay,
not on site. 382 less 25 is, of course.
okay, yeah, I'm sorry, Mr. McDonough said 357.
Yeah.
And then he agreed with me at 342, I think.
Yeah, my math was wrong, I'm sorry.
Okay.
382 is what's required?
Yes, 382 is required.
But your testimony is that there are many empty spaces
Correct.
every day.
Correct.
Okay.
That is true. I go every day that area.
Okay.
Any other questions from the board?
In my report, I noted that the parking spaces were not really, the parking striping was no longer legible, and also that the accessible parking spaces didn't meet ADA.
So we actually just had a new ramp put in on the ADA section.
Can you speak
That
into
was-
the mic, please?
Sorry, we just had a new ramp put in the ADA section. That was just completed 2 days ago. So that was done on Monday. The striping is actually going to start on Friday. So Friday and Saturday, the striping project will begin, and by Saturday it should be completed.
And then they'll be compliant?
Correct.
Thank you. I have no further questions on it, Chair. Thank you.
I have one other question. Do you ever plan any signage on the building? Other than
No.
a little nameplate someplace?
No, we don't have any monument signs, other than just our Halsey Corporate Center sign for the building itself. That's it.
So they have to go in the lobby to know that they're on the third floor?
Correct.
All right.
Yeah.
Is there anyone in the audience, the public, that would like to ask questions of this witness on her testimony? See none? Would a board member like to frame a resolution, please?
So is he done?
No.
Are you finished, Mr. O'Neill? I apologize.
I am, apparently Mr. McDonough is not here, so I could provide a little planning testimony,
Please? Okay.
where of course,
Don't beat the gun.
not really testimony, but I'd
No.
summarize what Mr. McDonough has in his report, maybe a little filibuster until John shows up. Of course, we're talking about a use variance here because medical uses are not permitted in the zone. The normal reason for that is related to traffic impacts of medical uses. That is not what we are talking about here. We think it is a stretch to classify these therapist uses as medical uses, but be that as it may, they are medical uses in the eyes of the zoning department, so we will require a variance for these minimal impact uses. Parking variance is of course an existing condition. We're going to be doing improvements to the striping, improvements to the handicap access already. So everything's compliant. No changes in the parking lot except for the repair that I just described. So there's no real negative impact from the outside, no signage, no noise, no anything. I'm sure John was going to say, the minute he shows up, any second, that he sees that the board can grant these variances and no problem at all.
This is only pertain to only one floor, right?
Just the third floor, top floor.
Not sure we need Mr. McDonough. I think you're very convincing.
Okay. Thank you.
The pictures in his report, have you any
Yes.
idea what time of day he took?
I do not know. I believe it was the middle of the day.
I'm just showing, because it shows the parking lot fairly empty.
Yeah, that's my experience also with this building is
Most of the time is like.
parking lot is pretty empty.
Are you asking the board to accept Mr. McDonough's report and bring up his testimony?
I am asking the board to consider that as a summation of Mr. McDonough's position.
Acknowledge.
Grant the variance. Don't want to make any judges mad about me testifying. I always get yelled at.
Any other questions from the board?
No.
Someone on the board like to frame a resolution, please?
Can I just,
Yes, please.
would any of the board members have any questions for McDonough, if he was here to ask?
I don't
Are you
think so.
satisfied
I
with
don't.
the opinions contained in his report?
I do. I'm satisfied. Okay.
Great, thank you.
All right, so I think, as it's been explained, the big issue was the parking spots. I believe, not only by your testimony, but my colleague, Dr. Reddy, saying that he goes by there all the time and it is empty often, that this is de minimis in nature, and I'll be voting for it.
Application 24:22, boxed property 90 East Alsea Road, block 737, lot 9, zone SCD-5A, to issue or grant C/D variance for medical offices and parking. Medical offices only on the third floor.
Second, Jaskowitz.
Berkowitz.
Yes.
Jaskowitz.
Yes.
Petty,
Yes.
Quinn,
Yes.
Ready,
Yes.
Grignani.
Yes. The resolution is approved.
Thank you.
The
Thank you
upcoming
so
meeting,
much.
and will be mailed to you within 10 days, and at that time, you can apply to the zoning for your construction and zoning permits.
Thank you so much. I
Good luck.
appreciate it.
Thank you,
Yes,
everybody.
good luck. You can give this, Mr. McDonough. He just wants
This is
it.
the same building, Betty.
Thank you, Mr. McDonough. Your testimony from Mr. O'Neill was perfect.
No, if you are here, we would have not approved this.
And it's in the one Farrington.
Yes, yes.
Application 2432, Ronald Farrington, 8 West Morris Avenue, Block 73, Lot 7, Zone R3. The C variance to construct an addition, roofed porch, entranceway, stairs, patio, walk, second-story addition, and install an air conditioning unit contrary to section 430-35, columns 4, additional porch, AC unit front yard. 7, additional and patio rear yard. 9, patio accessory rear yard. 10 and 13. Mr. Farrington?
Can you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
State your name, spell your last name, please.
It's Ronald Farrington, Farrington.
Please give us testimony.
Sure. Okay, so this property is 8 West Morris Ave. I'm going to start off by saying it's in Mount Tabor. The property's been vacant for approximately 7 years as it was bank-owned. I purchased it in February. What I did was I went to an architect, I got some plans drawn up, and obviously I'm here before you for some variances. It was a 2-bed, 1-bath. I'm looking to make it a 3-bed, 2.5-bath. Current front porch, if you look on the survey, the lined portion behind the porch is a current front porch that's actually part of the foundation. So I'm looking to just close that in and make that part of the first floor.
That portion will only be 1 story high?
Correct. The one I'm going to build will only be 1 story. The one that is diagonal lines through it, that's currently has foundation on it. That's part of the footprint.
Yep.
So the structure's still up?
What's that?
The structure's still up?
Structure's still up, yes, absolutely. So I'm going to close that in, make that part of the first floor, and then obviously going up to accommodate the space on the second floor. It's currently 736 square feet. I'm looking to add 449 and a half, making it approximately just a shade under 1,200 square feet of living space.
That cross-hatched area is almost 400 square feet?
I'm sorry?
That cross-hatched area is 400 square feet?
Which crosshatch? I'm
Well,
sorry.
you said you were gonna go from, what, 7, how big is the house?
So the current living space, first and second floor, is 736 square feet.
Okay,
And I'm going to add 449, which is mostly second floor, and then that little tiny crosshatch on the first floor
oh,
to make that part of the first floor,
Okay.
and then go up on the second floor.
okay.
So the footprint itself is going to stay the same.
Are you gonna lift the ceiling, or the roof on this house?
No, the roof line will be the same height. So currently, there is nothing over parts of the first floor, so I'm going to be going over parts that are not, that have it. Does that make sense? So I'm not going up any higher, I'm just going out over the second floor, over current living space. So the extra square footage for the impervious coverage comes in for the porch. I'm gonna add a patio, which I reduced. The square footage, I also gonna add a walkway, paver step walkway instead of a full walkway. That reduced my coverage, and the stairs for the front porch. which totals 352 square feet of impervious coverage. Because my lot is so small, again, being in Mount Tabor, it's only 2,400 square foot property. That's why the percentage of the coverage looks so big when you look at the increase of the impervious coverage. So total, I mean, you're only looking approximately 20 feet by 18 feet of impervious coverage I'm adding, but the percentage is so big because the property is so small. Does that make sense? Okay. I have already spoken with engineering, worked with them, submitted a plan, and it's already approved to handle stormwater coverage. So that is already dealt with. I'm sure you have a letter there for the approval.
Yes, dated October 18th, 2024.
So all these issues in his letter, 5, 6, 7, the dry well,
They've all been handled.
they've all been handled.
That's correct. And any neighbor I've spoken with, can't wait for me to get started. They are looking for an improvement because, like I said, the house has been unoccupied for 7 years and is starting to deteriorate. I'm looking to redo the entire thing.
So since the last time you were here, you reduced the size of the patio,
Correct, and the size of the walkway.
and you changed the walkway from a paver set in sand walkway to pavers.
Correct, so instead of a full walkway 4 feet wide the whole length, I just made it stepping stones
Gotcha.
to reduce the coverage.
Those are the only changes.
Those are the only changes. I reduced and then added the dry well, obviously.
And is that the only place you could put the air conditioning unit?
Unfortunately, yes. I did bring the plans if you'd like to see. So 3 sides of the house are not my property. You got the street, the back is my neighbor's property, the far side is the neighbor's property. So the front of the house, which is really not the street side, but it faces the yard, is the porch and then windows. So I have to go to one side of the windows, and the one side that it fits is literally right next to the street. It's the only spot to put it.
How high is that masonry wall in front?
I don't have an exact height. It's probably,
Yes.
it's, I don't know, about 2.5 feet, and then the ground slopes up a little bit from there.
And then the air conditioner will be on top of that.
Correct. That's correct.
You put a bush or something in
I'll
between
put something to block it. I don't want anybody to see it.
Okay.
Do you know why the front yard setback has gone from an existing 0 to a proposed 16.5?
I don't understand that. All I know is that the setback is what, 40 feet, and my property is only 37 something feet.
No, I
So
understand that.
Well, you encroach on the, you have no setback. You're in the street.
Is that the right-of-way line right there, right through the front of the house?
Yes. His back corner of his property, his neighbor is using it for something.
yeah, I'm over on my neighbor's property on the back, and apparently my neighbor is on my property for part of the,
Right.
part of his driveway or
You
whatever.
guys get along.
You have to in Mount Tabor.
Yeah.
Yeah, part of the house is actually in the right-of-way.
Yeah.
Yes. Are there any questions of this applicant from our board members?
I guess the question is, in terms of rehabbing this house, you're gonna keep its character.
I'm gonna keep what?
Its character.
Absolutely. I want the house to fit in the neighborhood. It's gonna fit. Right now, it doesn't, to be perfectly honest with you. Whoever had it before me put aluminum siding on it, looks terrible. I wanna go to board and batten and make it, the trim and everything to make it look and
Okay.
fit. Absolutely. And that's actually part of the plans. It's actually on there.
Is there anyone in the public who would like to question this applicant? See none? Is there anyone in the public who would like to speak in support or opposition to this applicant? See none? Any other testimony you'd like to give us this evening?
No, ma'am?
Okay. Would one of the board members like to frame
Sure.
a resolution,
I
please?
think it's a good application. I think you talked to engineering, you addressed all the issues when it comes to the runoff and the drainage. You're improving an eyesore. You're keeping with the style of the neighborhood, and I will be voting for it.
Okay. May we have a motion, please?
So moved.
Application 2430:32, around Farrington, 8 West Morris Avenue, Block 73, Lot 7, Zone R3, recommend granting a C variance to construct an addition, roof porch, entranceway, stairs, patio walk, second-story addition, and install an air conditioning unit contrary to sections 430-35, columns 4, addition porch, AC unit, front yard. 7, addition and patio rear yard. 9, patio accessory rear yard. 10 and 13.
Second ready?
Berkowitz.
Yes.
Jaskowitz.
Yes.
Petty.
Yes.
Quinn.
Yes.
Ready.
Yes.
Grignani.
Yes. Resolution will be approved at our next meeting. At that time, you'll be receiving your application within 10 days, and you can apply for your zoning and construction permits.
Thank
Lots
you.
of luck.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Application 24:45, Lillian Whitney Morley, 58 Summit Road, Block 323, Lot 11, Zone R4. A C variance to install an air conditioning unit with pad replacement, contrary to section 430-35, column 8. Ms. Whitney?
Can you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Great. Can you state your name and spell your last name?
Sure. My name is Lillian Whitney Morley. My last name is Whitney-Morley.
Thank you.
This application is for a replacement of an existing.
Yes, the existing air conditioner was about 30 years old, I'm assuming, and was not fixable. So replacing what was there.
Fixable.
Too expensive to fix, not worth it.
And it will be placed in the same location?
Same location, yeah.
Is it smaller or?
It's actually, the pad is the same size, but the unit itself is smaller this way. It's
Yeah,
28 by
fine.
28 versus this big wide thing. So it is smaller, looking at it this way.
Much quieter too?
Yes, much quieter, much, much quieter.
And this is de minimis.
30 years old, that
Yes,
sounds like a
yes,
truck.
yes. Anyone in the audience that would like to question this applicant? See none? This is a de minimis application. I think at some point, there has to be some changes.
We've discussed that many
Yes.
times.
Many
It's-
times.
I agree.
Maybe we can
She still
do
needs
some,
she needs the variance to replace it.
Yes, I know
Yeah.
that, yes.
can you,
All the wiring is in place, so that's why it's
Yes,
located where
yeah.
it is.
Excellent.
maybe we should have an ordinance.
Yeah, well, I think it's been mentioned
For
before.
silly things, people have to come here.
Yes, yes. Any questions of this applicant from the board?
No.
No?
Oh.
Would one of the board members like to frame a resolution, please?
Did you ask the public any questions?
Yeah, she
Okay.
did.
I believe I did.
Application 24:45, Lillian Whitney Morley, 58 Summit Road, Block 323, Lot 11, Zone R4. Recommend granting a C variance to install an air conditioning unit with pad replacement contrary to section 430-35, column 8.
Second ready?
Berkowitz.
Yes.
Grignani.
Yes,
Jaskowitz.
Yes.
Petty.
Yes.
Quinn.
Yes.
Ready.
Yes.
Willand. Huh?
thank you.
Oh, Willand, yes, he's not here.
That's
I'm
it.
good. Thank you.
Resolution is passed at the next meeting. Okay, thank you. Application 24:50, Anthony, 6 Upper Pond Trail, Block 117, Lot 6, Zone R3. C variance to legalize the previously approved 2-story, single-family dwelling, second-story deck, necessary retaining walls, existing first-story deck to remain, existing dock to remain, and shed contrary to section 430-35, columns 3, 4. Roof of dwelling and shed not previously approved, 10 and 13, section 430-10I. Good evening.
Will you both be testifying?
Yes.
Raise your right hands, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay.
Good evening.
Are you Mr. Anthony?
No, that's
I'm
Mr. Anthony.
Mr. Anthony?
Yes.
Okay, so state your name, spell your last name.
Calixtus J. Antony, Antony. Can you hear me better?
And sir?
Frank Mariconda, Mariconda.
Okay, great.
Who would like to start testimony, please?
I will. Good
Okay.
evening.
Good evening.
Some of you may recognize that I was here 2 years ago with a set of variances that you were kind enough to approve. Now, I'm here with a surprise outcome. So when the survey has finished, the project came out, the zoning officer found another set of variation from the originally approved variations. So as a result, now it was a surprise, but we are also finding out, at least to me, I'm not an expert, but I'm finding out that it all happened because of the fact that the original plan that was submitted for approval did not have the roof overhang included in the plan. So that threw everything off. So that is why most of your variances that you have in front of you came out to be. In addition to that, what my wife and I, Regina and I, we did is we added a garbage shed in the front by the garage. That is only just to keep, that is only adding a curb appeal in addition to just protecting the garbage cans from the wind and frequently visiting bears in our neighborhood. So ever since that we sent out the letters to the neighborhood, everybody's in support of this application, and I have not heard any complaint about it. As a matter of fact, I took up on the offer for one of our residents to come and speak himself. I think that is it. So as a result, I brought Mr. Frank Mariconda to help me with any technical questions that you may have. He's the builder, the proprietor of the builder Heritage Homes from Denville, which we are happy about, the whole output of this project. But he's here to help me. I didn't hire him or anything. He's here to help me out with the technical part of it.
Could I ask
Thank
you
you.
a few questions?
Yes, sir.
So the lot width variance allowed 44.01, proposed 40.4. Is that because the plan that was submitted back in 2022, when the original resolution was adopted, was incorrect?
Mr. Johnson, can I answer that?
Sure.
Okay. I want to start from the beginning. When I was hired, I received a set of drawings from an engineer, and I also received a set of drawings from an architect. There was that exactly what you said. It was noted that it was approved for 44. When we went back after the property was done, surveyor came back out and had the property noted at 40. So nothing changed with the size of the property, but there was human error. Somewhere along the way, there was human error, which led to a series of things that happened, including pervious coverages. It threw off the percentage, and it threw us off by 5% or so. There's also a front issue, and what happened again, and again, I'm only as good as the people I hire, he's only as good as people that he hires. When I got the set of plans from the engineer, there was a wall currently against the deck. They did a very beautiful deck before I got there, and they wanted to preserve that. There was a wall sitting underneath the existing house that was to remain on the plan. It was a stone wall. We were going to verify and field if it was usable. As we were doing the construction, we realized it had no footing underneath it whatsoever. So the wall basically crumbled. In calling the engineer firm that did the original site plan that made that error, they came out and they set new stakes for me. Unfortunately, when they set the new stakes, they set their stakes in front of that wall that was crumbled, when in reality it should have been back 11 or so inches. So when I had my markouts done in my offsets and I built the house automatically out of the gate was 11 inches more closer to the road than it should have been. It was, again, human error on part of the same company. As we got through the project and we built the house, the plans that were handed to the engineer from the architect, Joe Bruno, depicted a shed roof coming off the garage. Now, when the setbacks were originally approved, that plan was approved without seeing a shed roof. I had no knowledge that this wasn't approved. When I built the house, I put the shed roof on, which now the town is looking at the shed roof as the furthermost point. Now it's knocking me off even more. So now if you look at the charts here, addressing the front yard setback, it was allowed at 10.3. I ended up on the plan, the original plan, when the as-built was done, I ended up with originally 9.4 to the house. So I was off by about 13 inches, which was the equivalent of that stone wall in the back that they marked in front of. Now, if you look over to the left of the original as-built survey, you'll see the roof now is putting me at 6.8 to the road, which again, was never approved in the original plan. But when I got the plans from the architect, this was the set of approved drawings.
Okay, so the front yard setback
Yeah.
issue is created both because the house is located closer to the front yard setback than the
Correct.
original approved plans.
Correct.
And because the shed roof overhangs that by
Yes.
another,
Yeah, the original variance was approved without that depiction of the shed roof. So in reality, if my house was marked where it should have been marked, I would have been right on the front 10.3 setback. But even if I was there now, the roof is causing them to go into variance. I would have still been off by 7 feet or so.
so the size of the house has not changed at
Exactly
all
the same.
from what was
Yeah,
originally
exactly
approved,
right on the
just
money.
its location on
It's
the
just
property.
its location on the property.
So if that's true, Mr. Johnson, why is there the building coverage greater and the impervious coverage greater? Is it just that roof?
I think there may be other issues as well, like maybe
Right.
the shed is creating an issue there.
Yeah, but we also lost, now, remember, we had an approved 44
Yeah.
feet. Now we're at 40
Yeah,
feet. So we
lot
lost,
shrank.
The
Yeah.
lot got small.
Gotcha.
yeah, we lost the length of the property by 4 feet.
Okay.
So it,
So you can build a bigger house.
I know, I built the exact same house, but
The
I
original
just,
survey was incorrect.
yeah,
So all the
unfortunately,
calculations
yeah,
were incorrect.
unfortunately, we caught a couple of errors during construction that were kind of detrimental.
Now, let's go to the next one, the shed. So
Right.
the shed was not at all part of the previous approval, correct?
No, there was a small, there was a stone wall there existing with a small cutout where the previous owner, well, that was like their own, they used to put the garbage there. In the 11th hour, we decided, once we started seeing that there was some animals going in, we decided to put the shed in for them. We did take it down at one point, and then it started getting crazy again, and we said, let's just go for the variance.
Okay, so why does the shed need to be located 4 feet from the front yard setback?
It's actually, there's nowhere really, if you look at the property and you've been out to the house, the grade goes up immensely. The garage is basically down at ground level, but there's 2 retaining walls to the right and to the left. The only real way to come out of the house with garbage is the garage. If they were to put the garbage outside, it would be sitting up probably 4 or 5 feet in the air, 4 feet probably in the air.
But
There's-
that's something new that he's asking.
Yeah,
for.
he'd like to add
The
that.
question is, why can't it be in the garage?
What's that?
The question would be, why can't it be in the garage?
Oh, I mean, it certainly could be. It's a single-car garage, so it would have to be moved out.
There is room.
Yeah, there's not enough room, but it'll be a hardship actually, but it is not bothering anybody, interfering with anybody.
How big is this shed?
Shed, I can show you the picture, can I present the evidence?
No, no, just tell us how
Sorry?
big it is. Just tell us the,
It is, what is the size?
I would say you're probably looking at about 5 feet. I mean, if you want to pass this to the board, I'd be more
Well,
than
if
happy.
you want us to look at it, we gotta mark it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, we have to keep it.
Yeah,
We don't need,
So we're gonna mark that as A1. This is a photograph.
Yeah, that's the shed right there to the left.
Okay, you can keep those.
the ground in the back of the shed is about 4 feet high, so we are only talking about another 1.5,
So if
2
if
feet.
you look at this photograph, the shed's on the left-hand side of the photograph, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right.
And that's the roof that was in discussion, is the roof that's hanging over, right at the garage
the
point that
garage.
put us over, yeah.
how big is the roof?
The roof's about 2 foot 1 inches. projecting.
From the house?
When you see the picture, it fits right in.
Yes.
Yeah, the shed actually does fit right in. It goes with the garage doors.
Right.
Yeah.
I also have a couple of other pictures in the set, just to show you that even with these additional variances that you approved, it won't stand out like an exception in the neighborhood. It is very normal that those houses, the pictures that I have provided, they are about 2 feet or up to less than 4 feet from the street. It is basically sitting on the street. So I'm not like, this is not, my house is not going to stand out like an exception.
And what have you done about drainage?
Drainage, we were asked by the engineering to put up a seepage pit, which we did at a big cost. But I really think that I'm glad you brought it up. It was not necessary. Everybody on the lake having the waterfront is using the lake as the seepage pit. I'm probably the only one having a seepage pit at a cost. That is all about me wanting to be compliant to the requirements. That is why I did it at a big expense.
And it's all working?
Oh, yeah. It's working fine, yes.
Okay, all right, now, we need to talk about the retaining wall in the right-of-way. So there's a retaining wall that's in the town's right-of-way. Is that a retaining wall that was constructed as part of this construction?
No, that's pre-existing.
That was pre-existing?
Yeah, and that was not noted to remove that. It was,
No, I understand
Yeah.
that, but it's noted on the zoning officer's review of the application.
the previous
No,
application?
this
Oh, one,
application
okay.
now. I don't know if you've seen that review, but there is
Yeah, it was pre-existing. If you take a look at the picture with the number 4 up Rainbow Trail, the picture that I have provided, that wall is a continuation of my neighbor's wall. So it's all in seamless.
I
It was
only
there.
I only bring it up because this board does not have the authority to
Right.
grant you approval to have a retaining wall located in the town's right-of-way.
Yeah.
Only the town council could grant you that approval.
But that shouldn't have been addressed before permits were handed out.
I'm just telling
Yeah,
you
okay.
that this board cannot grant approval for a retaining wall in the town's right-of-way.
Are we going for that? I mean, was that something they requested in the variance, or?
No, it's not something that
Okay.
you requested, but it's something that the zoning officer noted as a condition on the property.
And the zoning officer also had the opportunity to look at this prior to the original approval.
Yeah, I think more important is
Okay.
there's no comment from the township engineer who would have more jurisdiction on the right of way. And the Rainbow Lakes area, there's lots up there that don't have a retaining wall in the street, but not many.
So we don't have to take any action
You don't
on
have to
that,
take any
correct?
action.
It would have been a lot easier to do it
I just
before.
didn't want you to think that we were approving your
Okay.
retaining wall in the right.
Okay.
I got you, thank you.
I also just wanted to add that when I saw that on the zoning officer's report, that I reached out to the engineering department and have asked them to let me know if there would be any concern. Twice I reached out, and they were well aware of that, and I have not received anything stating that they have a concern.
The only issue would be if the town wants to do something within
Gotcha.
its right-of-way,
Right,
and your
understood.
retaining wall is in their way.
So what
That would be-
understood, if that would happen, then we will have
Then you have to
multiple,
deal with
many people in the
something that's
neighborhood will be affected by that. Thank you.
Any other questions?
No.
No,
Any
so-
questions from the board? Any questions from the audience of this applicant on the testimony that he has given this evening? See none? I have a question, Mr. Johnson. The necessary retaining walls, and we're not going to be approving them. Is that something that has to be
He's not
eliminated?
asking.
He's not asking, and we're not doing.
And that's not within your jurisdiction.
Okay. So,
He's
in-
not asking for you to approve.
If he is not asking,
You
why,
just gotta wait
why
until the
is on
town
this one?
says something.
Yeah,
okay,
catch
so
yourself.
in framing,
Him to deal with the town on that.
when a resolution is framed, the retaining wall will be eliminated from the statement?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Would someone like to frame a resolution, please?
Well, first, I'd like to say that everything looks good. I think there were some honest mistakes made, but no harm, no foul. So I will be voting in favor.
Just move on.
Application 24:50, Calixtus Anthony, 6 Upper Pond Trail, Block 117, Lot 6, Zone R3, recommend granting a C variance to legalize the previously approved two-story single-family dwelling, second-story deck, existing first-story deck to remain, existing dock to remain, and shed contrary to section 430-35, columns 3, 4, roof of dwelling and shed not previously approved, 10 and 13, section 430-10I.
Mr. Jaskowitz, can I just say one thing? If you want to make a correction, board, it's Upper Rainbow Trail, not Upper Pond Trail. I don't know how that ended up like that. It's Upper
Okay,
Rainbow.
thank you.
No problem.
Upper Rainbow.
Noted.
Second ready?
Berkowitz.
Yes.
Jaskowitz.
Yes.
Hattie.
Yes.
Quinn.
Yes.
Ready.
Yes.
Grignani.
Yes.
Thank you, board. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Can you pass that down?
Yes. That's it.
Nora?
Nora.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So what did they say? We need to post numbers. Everything was not the way it was supposed to be.
Survey.
Is on the pond?
Yeah. Very decent.
Application number 2455, Lydia and Yolanda Bender, 4 Parkside Drive, Block 763, Lot 2, Zone R3, a D variance for a two-family home.
Can you raise your right hands, please? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
You can have a seat.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Yelena Binder, B-I-N-D-E-R. This is my mother, Lydia Binder, B-I-N-D-E-R.
Before you get into the meat of your testimony.
Yes, sir.
You've been here before.
Yes,
You
sir.
were here on the appeal
Yes.
a few months ago. Did you happen to read Mr. Chadwick's planning report, the August 13th, 2024 note, this document right here? Did you happen to take a look at that?
Yes, please. I think so. Yeah.
So one of the things that Mr. Chadwick correctly pointed out is that what you're asking for is what we call a D or a use variance. And typically, when an applicant, actually it's required, that when an applicant has that kind of an application, they have a report and testimony from a professional planner to explain the legal and planning rationale to grant that type of variance. Do you understand that? You don't have anyone to provide that type of testimony tonight. And it's complicated and important testimony for this type of application. And I know you don't have counsel, an attorney with you tonight, but I wanted to point that out to you before you get into the heart of your testimony, to see if you would like the opportunity to retain a planner and perhaps an attorney as well to provide that type of testimony.
We were told that an attorney wasn't necessary, that it was optional for this use variance, and it says here that the board has the authority to waive this requirement in terms of the planner.
They can waive it, they don't have to waive it, but it would be very difficult for the board, who currently has 6 of its members. You need 5 affirmative votes to approve a use variance application without requisite planning testimony. So you might want the opportunity to retain a professional planner to provide that type of testimony. I'm just asking if you want that opportunity.
I mean, I don't know what to say. I'm not sure how to answer that, because the last time that we were here, you all unanimously pretty much insisted that if we applied for use variance, we're almost guaranteed to get it granted.
I don't think that's how it came, that's
No.
not our intention.
But the board can't grant a use variance without making certain findings that you have supplied the requisite evidence to grant that type of variance. And I can't give you legal advice because I'm not your lawyer, okay? And you decided, and you don't have to have a lawyer. You own the property yourselves. You don't have to proceed with a lawyer, and you've chosen not to proceed with a lawyer. But it's a heavy burden of proof that you have to satisfy to get a use variance. And without planning testimony, it may be difficult for you to satisfy that burden. If you don't want that opportunity and you want to move forward tonight, that's your choice.
So if we moved forward tonight, and if for some reason you don't grant us the approval, what is the next step? How does it work? I'm not sure what,
And they don't grant the approval.
You can't do it.
and that's
Yeah,
it?
you would have a right to appeal,
And go through this process all over
but
again?
it would be very difficult. Again, I can't give you legal advice, but without the testimony in the record, your appeal would be very burdensome.
And is it fair to also say, Mr. Johnson, that in the past, this board has looked very stringently on that request? Are we allowed to say that?
On these types of applications?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Can you repeat that?
In the past, I mean, I've been on the board about 9 years, I think, these are not often approved.
That is not what
Rarely.
you all said the last time that we were here. If we understood it that way, if we heard it that way, we wouldn't have gone through this process and, spend the money and the time and, you guys almost unanimously said that we needed to apply for use variance, for this use variance with the deed restriction, and we complied and we followed everything that was requested.
But you didn't supply the board with any planning evidence as to the reason to grant the D variance.
We tried looking for, first of all, it says here that it can be waived. Second of all, we tried looking for a planner. We asked for recommendations for a planner. We finally found someone just a couple of weeks before this date because we kept not getting even clear information of what a planner is, what a planner does, where do we find one. When we finally did, the planner said that they would not be able to do this job in the time by today's date. So,
Did they give you an idea about how long it would take to supply the report?
Is there? She said, I don't know, I didn't speak to her, my mom spoke to the planner, so.
I spoke to her, she said it will take her a couple of months. She's busy, not only our case.
We reached out, including to Nora, to ask for recommendation of planner. She said that they don't do that.
Specifically for this thing, planning report. And I talked to Nora, and I wanted to see John Chadwick, about this. What it is, what do we need to do?
Who do we get it from?
Nora said, don't go see him. You don't have to.
That would be Mr.
Right, or
Chadwick.
you should not see him.
Mr. Chadwick is the board's planner.
That's what I told her. I didn't say you didn't have to. I said you cannot because he represents the Board of Adjustment.
He cannot represent you.
Right, the question wasn't, the request wasn't for him to represent us, rather to give us clarity. How required this is, where do we find a planner, like, how does this all work? This is completely new to us. I had no idea what a planner is. This is the first time I'm hearing about such a profession at all. You know who a lawyer is, who, a builder is, but I've never heard of a planner. You know who an architect is. So we just wanted some clarification and guidance, but we were told, no, you cannot see him, reach out to him, which we didn't. We complied with that too.
You got Mr. Chadwick's report, right?
Yes,
Yes.
that's why I came here.
Right. And that report is dated August 13th, right?
Yes,
August
that's
15.
why I came here and talked to Nora first, asking for question. And I said,
Speak
okay,
into the
I'm
microphone,
going to
please.
see John Chadwick Oh, sorry. And I said, I'll go to see John Chadwick. And she said, don't.
There was no need. Mr. Chadwick, in his report,
Right, I
indicated.
wanted to talk to him, asking what it is, who do we hire, like, where do we find the specialist? Because I never heard about such specialist. Besides, when I submitted the package, and you have copies of everything, right? The
Can I
application.
interrupt a second? It seems like we're just going around circles here for
Huh?
a little bit.
We
You
can't
know
hear
that there
you.
is a profession. You talked to a planner. He told you you didn't have enough time to get it ready for tonight.
Yeah, that's, we've
So
talked
have you
after
made-
all of
No, let
this.
me finish. Have you made a conclusion that you would, if he had had time, you would have gone forward with his preparing a report and coming and testifying?
If they would have time to get it ready
All
for
right,
today, then
Why don't you ask
yes.
the board to adjourn this case? First of all, you only have 6 people here. That means you have to get 5 out of 6. The odds get better if you have to get 5 out of 7. That's how many votes you need. And you need to talk to the planner, sit down, figure out his schedule, get the report. You're pretty clear that the board is not gonna waive this report. And you're in a learning curve that to push it is not gonna be successful, in my opinion.
Right, and from my understanding, you had reached out to Mr. Chadwick, and he had reached out to your attorney.
We did not reach out to Mr. Chadwick, ask for your recommendation.
This was just my
Well, what do you wanna
understanding.
do?
And also besides, when I submitted the whole package,
Are you gonna answer
here,
my question?
nobody, told us about.
Excuse me, ma'am. Are you gonna answer my question?
The question is, do you want to proceed tonight without a planner? Or do you want to come back on another night with a planner? That's the question you have to answer.
Ясно, что они не будут это...
Maybe Nora could give us a
Они
name to
нам
3
не
planners.
не дадут. Да.
I already talked to him.
Да. Что они supposed to do? Well, I guess you leave us pretty much no choice. We have to come back and do this all over again.
Nora, may we have a date, please, to carry this application?
Well, before you give him a date, the last time you spoke to the planner that you did speak to, approximately how long did that person say it would take to get a report?
2 months and a half, 2 months.
2 months?
When was that? Like 2 months ago or last
No,
month?
less than 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
So maybe put it out 2 months from now.
Okay, I don't have anything else. I just want to say really quickly, an email was sent to Mr. Chadwick. It was sent to him by, I guess your mom.
You emailed Chadwick? Nora's saying that an email was sent.
Ms. Bender, we're going to be carrying this application for you. Is that what you would like us to do, to carry this application?
Yeah, doesn't look like we have much of a choice.
Nora, may
With
we
all
have...
extensions, correct? To make a decision?
Mhm.
January 15th.
January 15.
January?
Yeah. You
Yeah, that's
said,
about 2 months.
2 months, right?
3 months.
To carry this hearing over.
Oh.
Are
Okay.
we gonna have without further notice?
Mhm.
Without
Yeah.
further
To be
notice.
without further
No, it
notice.
doesn't need to be.
All right,
Nobody's here on it, right?
Okay.
no.
You understand what we just said? You don't need to notice again. You just need to get the planner, sit
Okay.
down with it.
So that we don't
January
need to notice
15th is the
again.
date.
Okay.
I would act swiftly to hire the planner.
Okay.
Okay, do you need the planner to come here for
Yes.
hearing?
Yes. The planner needs to come and testify on the 15th. Needs to supply a report and come testify.
Okay. Do you need to see the report before?
Yes, once you hire the planner,
10
the
days
planner
before the
will
meeting.
know what to do. But act swiftly to hire the planner.
Just Google planner.
Okay.
I move we adjourn this case to January 15th.
Yes,
With no further notice.
yes.
Second. January 15th.
January 15th,
Motion, please.
2025.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Well, we didn't. We didn't.
Okay, all right, okay, okay. Application 22:04, Kasawala, 130 Troy Road, Block 726, Lot 15, Zone R3, site plan with G variance to construct 3 townhomes. Now, the site was already, no, I don't know.
2204.
Where Baldwin comes over, you got the new.
No, no, no,
The
this is
temple.
with the,
It's right
Good evening, everyone. Joseph O'Neill here on behalf of the applicant.
Well, it is.
Behind JC's Bakery.
okay, okay, I know where it is.
Here's
Okay,
Troy, here's
Right.
BAL, here's the temple.
This was a old
And here's the
application.
highway.
okay.
This was a bifurcated application. The applicant has already been granted use and all variance approvals. This is the site plan section with no variance. What I'd like to do is introduce Mr. Matarazzo and have him sworn.
You swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, I do.
State your name, spell your last name.
Frank Matarazzo, Matarazzo.
Mr. Matarazzo, you've testified a number of times before this board in the past, isn't that correct?
Yes,
And your licensing is still in effect?
yes.
I would submit Mr. Matarazzo as an expert for engineering purposes.
He's acceptable.
Mr. Matarazzo, can you fill us in as to what it is that's being proposed here?
Okay, so, the site's located at 130 Troy Road, Lot 15, Block 726. It is located on the northerly side of Troy Road, approximately 500 feet west of Baldwin Road. Located in the R3 zone, the property contains a one-story single-family dwelling, a masonry garage, and a circular driveway currently. The lot area is approximately 1.24 acres. It has an irregular shape with a portion of wetlands on the northerly section of the property.
Can you please speak into the microphone or just speak up?
Okay. So the proposal is to demolish the existing dwelling and construct one building containing 3 residential townhouse units. Each unit will have a one-car garage, a one-car driveway. There's also a parking area proposed in the front of the building. There's 2 driveways. As you can see on the plan, there's an entrance-only driveway on the right side and an exit-only driveway on the left side. There'll be a total of 9 parking spaces, and that's because each unit will have 1 garage space and 1 driveway space. So the 3 units will have 6 parking spaces, and there are 3 additional parking spaces located within the parking area. We have
Those
5
little slips stick out.
5 proposed light fixtures, 3 of which will be building mounted. 2 light fixtures will be pole mounted, 1 on the entrance side of the driveway, 1 on the exit side of the driveway. We are proposing landscaping along the front of the parking area. The remainder of the site will be lawn area.
stormwater is addressed by the means of an underground detention system, which consists of a Coltech chamber located within a gravel pit. It operates similar to a dry well system. That detention system is located under the 2 parking spaces located on the right side of the parking area. Stormwater will be captured, stormwater runoff from the parking area will be captured in a catch basin located in the parking lot and piped to the underground detention system. Similarly, the roof leaders will tie directly into the underground detention system as well. Overflow from the dry well will discharge via an overflow pipe towards the rear of the property, just before it reaches the wetlands buffer area. Each unit will be serviced by individual water and sewer connections as well, which pretty much sums up the site plan aspect.
If we talk a little bit about stormwater?
Yes. The stormwater is provided, stormwater management is provided by the means of an underground detention system, which is similar to a dry well system, however, it's more of a shallow system.
Thank you, Mr. Matarazzo. No further questions for this witness?
Did you review the town engineer's report?
Yes.
And you're satisfied all those conditions they outlined in that?
Yes, those are all comments that can be addressed.
And these units are 2-bedroom?
I'm sorry?
2-bedroom units?
3 bedrooms.
3-bedroom?
And Mr. Lemanowitz had some comments.
Madam Chair, I've got a bit of a question, and I'm not sure how to, but the packets that were handed out, the plans are dated, are revised, November 20th of '21. Those are the plans that were handed out in the packets. The plan that I reviewed was December 5th of 2023. So the plans in the packets are 2 years older than the ones I reviewed.
Right, there's a reason for that, because when they sent in revised plans, they only sent, exactly what was needed for review. They didn't submit enough for everybody.
So the plans are the same?
Some of the plans are more current. Mr. Johnson has has the most current set. Ms. Grignani may, but the others.
Was there any substantive change to the plans? Other than the date? I mean, there must have been something.
Can I just have a moment to confer with my client?
I don't see the date that he's referring to.
I reviewed the plans much earlier.
I've got a date of 2/1/2022.
It's like 3 or 4 revisions.
We've got 2021.
No, I don't have that one. I have this one. And
I've got one dated 11/2021.
that, the board got 9, I have it, and you have it.
What's the date on yours?
I've got revision 16 of the 2024 date.
I know, I have revision 9. What's yours? Up in the top.
Yeah, Mr. Miola
You got
had
the
sent
16.
only a
I
certain
have the
number
16. You
of
have the
plans.
16?
The June set, he sent 5,
I have the 16.
Another one that was only three.
Is there a significant change?
There, well, the problem is we don't know for sure.
Oh.
There are changes in the stormwater, obviously, because of changes in stormwater regulations. That may have changed some grading, which we cannot answer to.
Right. So Mr. Lemanowitz has revision 15, 12/5/2023, correct?
Correct.
My report reflects revision 9.
It appears that at some point in time, a revision 16 may have been submitted. What's on the easel there?
These plans, the last revision is number 16, February 1st, 2024.
That's what I,
We're gonna need to adjourn this.
that's what
I'm gonna hand straight. So the ones that you are ultimately seeking approval for are revision 16?
We will get back.
Those are the most, you're not sure, okay. I was gonna hand this to Mr. Lemanowitz.
Let me submit new plans. Okay. Well, hopefully the same plans you have.
Be careful.
Some of them have. Not brand.
Well, the plan I had distributed,
You're looking at-
it only goes to revision 9.
We're up
And
to
they have 16 here.
I have 16. Do you have 16?
I didn't even look.
Oh,
I have 16.
Mr. O'Neill, would you like to
Everyone's is a little bit
carry?
different.
Yes, please, we'd like to, as early as possible, since this is obviously a printing problem.
About how long do you need to finish the application?
Well,
much
it's
time do you need to
there's
present?
no variances, so it's very, very quick.
Like, can we get it done in half an hour? I could give you a 7 PM special?
I can do it in half.
Is that okay with the board?
When can you find out which map is on first?
Which will be January 15th, by the way.
By January 15th, for sure.
All right. May I have a motion, please, to carry this application to January?
Motion.
Second?
No further notices, right?
That's correct. All extensions granted through the
No
end of
further
January.
notice. That's 1/16/2025.
16 or 15?
Is it the 16th or the 15th?
It is
15,
the
1/5.
15th?
I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong year here.
Oh,
15,
At 7 PM.
7 PM.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.
Thank
You
you.
too.
Take care.
Thank you, Mr. O'Neill.
Yes. Motion?
What site plan are you approving?
I'll get you the billboard ordinance by the end of the
May we have a motion to adjourn, please?
Motion.
Second?
second,
Aye.
All approved?
all, yes.